Carnivore Revolution. I'm Jess.
I'm Serena. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe below. And today we have a very special guest with us today. A lot of you probably already know who he is. We are super excited to be joined by Dr. Kiltz. Dr. Kiltz is a fertility specialist located in New York. And we're so glad that you're here, Dr. Kiltz. You want to do a little introduction of yourself and tell people about you?
Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Serena. Carnivore Revolution, rock on. I am so excited. I'm a fertility doctor, a standard American doctor in the United States of America. I'm a fertility specialist, upstate New York, Colorado, Florida, all over the country and the world, really. We see patients from everywhere. We see our community from everywhere in the world. I trained internal medicine, OBGYN, and then reproductive endocrinology and fertility. I did OBGYN and fertility. And over the years, I slowly figured out that what we were doing wasn't working. I started with mindfulness and yoga, meditation, prayer, and really integrating an approach to help people sort of shift their energy to a more calming approach. And then one day, a bunch of my patients getting pregnant on this thing called paleo diet. I had no idea what that was. And so I'm like, okay, let me read all about this. So I went from paleo to keto to carnivore. And it was like a game change for me. And when I did that, all my bowel bleeding, arthritis, psoriasis, migraines, kidney stones, and more gone. And this was nearly 11 years ago. And so I was like, okay, maybe I should write about it. And I started writing about it and publishing about it and talking about it. And social media is the new social medicine. And so I'm just thrilled and excited to be sharing these with you and really with the globe, which really is about health and wellness is in everyone's hands now, not to have to go to the university, to go to medical school, get access to the journals, which ultimately I'm now figuring out are a lot of hocus pocus and wrong, in my opinion.
So many people have had healing stories that are just amazing coming out of the carnivore diet. I actually have a friend who had suffered from infertility for about 15 years. She had one child. 15 years later, they had adopted 2 other children, they did fertility treatments. They did everything they could think of and nothing worked. And then she went to a local natural doctor here who does muscle response training. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of everything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. He puts like the item on you, like the energy that comes out of the bottle tells your body whether or not that's good for you or not. And he can tell by the way your body responds to it. Really amazing. And he put her on several supplements, clean out her system, put her on an extremely low carb diet. And she has 2 biological children now, and she's pregnant with her 3rd one in 8 years, just from cutting the carbohydrates and the sugars and all of those things out of her diet. It's truly amazing.
It is miraculous. And again, I've seen women who with an AMH of 0.02 get pregnant, 52 get pregnant. All over the universe, I think we're finding that the real cause of disease is the modern recommendations of a plant-based, low animal fat diet. We are rock-on carnivores. We're meant to eat 1 meal a day or less. We're meant to eat fatty meat, and we're not meant to eat plants of any significance or frequency. That's the simple answer. We could get all technical on so many things, but it's Occam's razor says the simple answer is the one. You don't need a science project. You don't need a publication. You don't need research. All you have to do is look around and see everyone feeling just on simple, low carb, amazing. But when they go to the, I call us fativores. We're meant to eat fat. We're meant to get fat. We're not meant to be skinny. We burn fat. We don't burn sugar. And, I could go on and on about the lies that we've been taught, which aren't lies because people think they're true. Mm-hmm. And if the science takes you down the wrong road, but you keep on going down that same road, every other discovery you make, you think is the right answer, but it's completely wrong.
So in all of your years of practicing, have you noticed that fertility issues are getting progressively worse with modern times?
Everything is getting worse, not just fertility. Basically, all diseases are caused by the same 5 things, is my theory. And everything's getting worse. Younger and younger people are dying of cancer. stroke, hypertension, diabetes. The cost of healthcare is going like this. The amount of people on drugs. When you get into your 50s, 60s, and 70s, everyone's on drugs and everyone's on a diet to lose weight, and it's not working. So all of our recommendations aren't working. So we've discovered dissections and everything, but infertility, male and female, pregnancy losses, late-term losses, SIDS is on the rise. All of it, I will bet $1 billion is due to this absolute wrong advice by the modern world, which is sharing still the pyramid. They've cleared it a little bit. They call it low carb, but no one knows that lettuce is a carbohydrate, which means it's a sugar. Surprise, right?
You mentioned everybody being on medication. And I was telling Jess the other day that I went to my yearly girl appointment a few months ago, and the lady gave me the paperwork and she gave me the form, to fill out all my medications. And I just drew a line through it and gave it back. And she said, "Oh, you didn't fill out the form. I'm not taking any medications." She said, "You're not?" She said, "Okay, make sure you tell the nurse." And then the nurse says, "Did she not give you a medication form to fill out?" And I said, "No, she did, but I'm not on any medications." She goes, "Oh." And then the doctor comes in and brings up all my information on the computer and he says, "You're not taking any meds yet?" I was like, "No, I'm 49. I was 48 at the time. This was right before my birthday. I was like, "No, I'm only 49. Is that how bad it's gotten? That people that are 49 are taking that many medications that you're shocked that I'm not?" And he said, "Yes, that is how bad it is." And I was just blown away by that.
Well, remember, when you go to a modern doctor, the modern doctors have a list of your diseases. So you're a label of your diseases. So we've actually created the diseases because we've created the list of your problems, right? You are just your problems, and they get longer and longer and longer. And you think they're all different causes. They think they're all unrelated. You must have a genetic predisposition to this. You're just unlucky for this. Oh my God, you're just not exercising enough, and you're not even eating enough fiber and vegetables. So actually, the saddest part for all of us in medicine is that we're labeling people sick when they're fine. They're simply eating poisons every day from the moment they were conceived in utero. They have been poisons because every plant makes a poison to control and kill us. But some of it does it. For some of it does it faster, and some of it takes longer.
You like keto and carnivore, correct? So when you're talking with your patients, how do you decide what you recommend for them on more keto diet or more carnivore diet?
Well, keto is for the masses and carnivore is for the masters. If you want to be in the master class, you go carnivore. You go Kiltz's keto carnivore. And I call it Keto carnivore is because it is, again, the master class. What do the kings and queens eat? They eat the ribeye, fattiest meat you could eat. You're not allowed to hunt in the king's hunting grounds, but you can eat the mush all you want. But I'm sharing an idea, and diet's the last thing people want to talk about. But what's the first thing I talk about? Nutrition. And so I've written some number of books and guides, and I mostly open the door to keto. What is keto? Keto is a high fat nutritional plan. It's not a low carb. It's a high fat. Everyone's got it wrong. Paleo's high fat, keto's high fat, and carnivore is high fat. But the problem is, if I'm a carnivore, I'm eating tenderloin and chicken. That's not it. That's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's wrong. So, as I tell the story in a way that most guys go like, "Oh yeah," and women go like, "Oh my, he'll like that." But again, it's radical. For so long, I talked keto because I didn't want to scare anyone away. But I got to the point where, carnivore is well spoken today. I've been really talking the talk and enjoying that for a while. Our new guide is called Kiltz's Keto Carnivore Guide. Keto carnivore, because everyone loves, keto, I'm keto. Yeah. But, seeds and nuts are deadly. And even on some of our stuff, we use seeds and nuts and vegetables. I don't want to scare everyone away, but ultimately, you can do keto on any nutritional plan because Kiltz's keto is 1 meal a day, high fat. If you're a vegan, cook the carbs well, be very boring, and it's coconut oil. Okay. Remember, plant oils are not fat. They're plant phytochemicals. Fat comes from the butt, the belly, or some fat part of an animal. The best animal to eat is a cow, not a chicken, not fish, not what else is a turkey? Forget it. I don't think they're good for us personally, because a high protein diet turns out to be deadly for us. But it's sort of like, well, where are the papers? Where are the studies? Listen, I'm not here to prove anything. Don't believe me. If you just do this for 2 to 4 weeks, you'll feel fantastic. So, I had one woman today. She was very upset, and she said, "Do not talk about keto, carnivore, and do not talk about God." We got right to what are the drugs you want? Because we're a drug-based world and a dissection-based world, and the doctor's going to fix it fast. But again, I still do drugs and dissections, so I do all of it. But I can't stop talking about carnivore.
Let me ask you, you said that you think that all of our diseases are caused from 5 things, and you didn't say what they were. What are they? Don't leave us hanging.
Okay. So it's obvious that the leading diseases are related to sugar. Now, I'm going to use the word glycans. You probably never heard of the word glycans.
Mm-mm.
Glycans are sugars. Now, we think glucose is the only sugar in our body. It's not. So sugar is the number one cause of disease. It causes something called glycation. Glycation is the rusting of our body, but it's from within. So sugar causes damage to your proteins, to every molecule in your body. And amazingly, sugar and plants are not required in the human nutrition. So I was like, whoa, okay. So diabetes, hypertension, cancer, stroke are all elevated in people with diabetes. Well, what causes diabetes? Sugar, duh. Okay, lettuce, duh. So number one is plants, sugar. Number two is the phytochemicals that come from plants. 98% of the pesticides come from plants. They make them themselves. They are the predators of the world. They basically own the planet. We die, they survive. We're just fertilizer, and we're doing their work. So sugar, then the plant chemicals, then the plant antigens, lectins, oxalates, phytates, and more. But there's thousands of them. They're called glycoproteins. The glycoproteins that do not digest into simple sugars or simple amino acids, for whatever reason, our body isn't easily able to break them down. And if you look at Sally Norton and so many other people that write about this stuff, you'll be like, whoa. The fourth one is the fiber and the bacteria and yeast that come with the plants and the fermentation in our GI tract. It happens in our mouth, in our esophagus, in our small and large intestine. Fermentation makes alcohol. Number 5 is excessive exercise.
I have a question about if someone one of your patients does go carnivore, but they still are having fertility issues, what do you do then?
Well, the question is, what's carnivore?
Like meat-based, high fat.
Meat. But I eat avocado. So, there's always this, I got to really look carefully, or I'm eating a bunch of lean meat, no fat. See, there's something called the glycobiome. The glycobiome is the sugar layer that protects your body. That's what sugar is for in our body. It's not used for energy directly ever. So I'm always looking deeply at, okay, what are you consuming? How often you're consuming? But listen, the carnivore, keto, paleo, whatever it is, it doesn't heal and fix everything. The damage may be so severe at a level of your tubes are blocked, or the sperm is damaged to a part there's no good sperm, or your ovarian reserve is diminished. Ovarian function is diminished. That's a better one. You have intra-abdominal pelvic inflammation, also called endometriosis, adenomyosis, and fibroids, all caused by high plant-based, low animal fat diet. And so, I still dig deep because quite often, well, I'm eating chicken and fish and turkey and tenderloin. That doesn't do it. Fat that is eaten reduces inflammation in the gut. It protects the glycobiome. The glycobiome is the Teflon shield of our body. The glycobiome is the sugar moieties, or the glycans, that are everywhere. Without it, you would die. Your body makes the glycans and recycles them that come from the fatty meat you eat. And it's an area that most people don't even understand, the glycobiome and glycobiology. So I'm always looking deep, but we're still using our standard medications in many cases, steroids, antibiotics, antifungal, antiviral. We do a fair amount of things like Lovenox, aspirin, Plaquenil, Prograf. We do intravenous immunoglobulins, Cimzia, Humira. I mean, I got a treasure chest of drugs that, hey, listen, but I also make sure, hey, meditation, prayer, visualization, yoga, acupuncture, get off the treadmill, slow it down. Are you visualizing your babies, your family? What's your spirituality? Do you believe in God? I talk about all these things because there's something deep in all of that we need to really understand where you're coming from. Do you want to jump right into IVF? Do you want to do donor eggs? Do you want to, are you saying, hey, Dr. Kiltz, whatever you teach us, we're in on this, and we want to do as natural as possible. And I've seen no ways be way all day long.
That's amazing. I love how you focus so much on the nutrition, because so few people in today's society, like in today's day and age, believe that the things that we eat are actually affecting us. And that old, analogy of if you put the wrong gas in your car, people get so sick of hearing that, and they think that that's garbage. They don't believe, they don't believe in that. They feel like that's so silly. We've been eating these foods for years and years, but they don't really think about the fact that we're getting sicker and sicker.
Absolutely. Now, what is the fuel for the body? It's only fat. You either eat it or you make it. The liver's function is to make fat. That's it. Now, there are multiple other things, but the primary function is to make fat. The liver makes fat out of amino acids and simple sugars via insulin. Insulin does not put sugar into the cells. Sugar is not the energy of the mitochondria. It doesn't make any sense. Keto is not the conversion of burning sugar to burning fat. It's false. Keto is essentially, okay, I'm seeing a bunch of ketone bodies because you have a low sugar environment, or you're starving. By the way, fasting is days and days and days of not eating. I call our diets really intermittently feasting. I do the 23 and 1. 23 hours, no food, 1 hour food. That's it. Now, from time to time, you have a snack. What is it? It's ribeye fatty steak. It's liver. I do some salami, a little bit of cheese, but I typically stay away from cheese too much. And I do make an ice cream that's really rocking.
Oh, yeah. Talked about that earlier today.
My parents love your ice cream. They eat it all the time. My mom bought a specific ice cream maker just so she could start making it for my dad, because he was pre-diabetic and actually started keto/carnivore and reversed his diabetes.
Remember, all of our diseases, until you have some serious cancer or something, is only a poison due to your diet rather than the proper human nutritional solution, which is carnivore. Now, carnivore doesn't eat the tenderloin. The carnivore kills the animal, eats the fat. They leave the lean meat for the scavengers. And dogs and cats are wolves and lions that have been fed plants. Plants have opiates, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine. Okay, caffeine also, by the way. All of these things are toxic to our body. Unfortunately, there are babies that die in utero. Remember, the birth control pill and the abortion pill are made from plants.
Wow.
We're still slaves, prisoners, peasants, and soldiers to the masters. The masters have sold us a crock of shit, And we go for it hook, line, and sinker, because if getting off heroin, tobacco, marijuana, alcohol is very difficult because they're very addictive. And so plants are very addictive. They're that way for a reason, because they want to control you. And the plants make all the poisons, all the materials, and that's how we've learned all of the primary drugs we use in medicine. And so depression, anxiety, even suicide, and I believe even significant anger is all secondary to a plant-based low animal fat diet.
You're talking a lot about fat and how the importance of fat. I want to know your opinion on organs. Are organs essential?
I don't know if I call them essential. I mean, I recommend liver, bone marrow, bone broth. Maybe we should eat the pancreas, the thyroid, the thymus. The spleen. We don't eat blood. We should probably be eating blood, and we should probably be eating the fat. There's all this fancy stuff, but I eat mostly fatty ribeye steak. I do my ice cream from time to time, once a week maybe. You don't even have to put the sugar in it, by the way, and it is still awesome. But I think the organ meats are good. We have a nutritional supplement, Kiltz's Nutritional Solutions, where we put organ meats which contain pancreas. One of my clients, a member of the Kiltz's tribe from Sweden, is taking pancreas because he needs the pancreatic enzymes. And my bet is if you ate those things, you probably had, plenty of the natural enzymes that you're meant to get in the minerals and vitamins that are in the animals. Look at Judy Cho. She really breaks down all of this stuff pretty well. We're making too much out of this, too much science. It's snake oil. It's really like, well, what about, I don't know what a calorie is, by the way. Oh, I'm getting fat on carnivore. I only eat one meal a day. Likely you're eating, okay, if you want to be skinnier, eat less food, do more exercise, except exercise ultimately is very damaging to the body. The more miles you put on your Ferrari, the less time it's going to be on the road. It's going to be the junkyard, the mechanic shop. We're just another Ferrari. We require jet fuel in the form of fat. Type 1 diabetics die if they get no treatment because they have used all their fat. Liver failure patients die because they can't make fat. And type 2 diabetics are perfectly doing what their body's meant to do, make fat. But the more glycation happens to the liver, the less functionality of the liver to convert sugar into fat. So you're putting more sugar into your belly. It's not able to convert it fast enough. So your blood sugar levels rise. Okay. And then you get more damage. And then your doctors give you more drugs. They tell you to eat more vegetables. You remember the vegetables in your belly are there from the day you're born to the day you die. You're always secreting sugar into your bloodstream and poisons always. And you're always fermenting. No wonder we're in the F group, right? We're getting so damaged. Then you need drugs. I used them all. I went to the doctors. I got dissections and more drugs. And then I went carnivore. And 2 years later, I said, I haven't touched these things in 2 years. I don't go to the doctors anymore. Our job is to put us out of business. Listen, there's always going to be a need for things that we do in this. I know that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, let's kick some ass.
Yeah, so that brings me to the next question, because many women are listening to this and saying, how could somebody possibly eat that much fat? People, women hear fat, and they think they're going to get fat. We're so used to being told as women, all the diets that go on are very low calorie, lean meats. And that's what I was doing before I started carnivore, and it wasn't working for me. So can you talk briefly about what you think? I think I know what you think, but can you talk briefly about what you think about the calories in, calories out issue, and how that works with carnivore?
I don't know what the heck a calorie is. It's a scientific term. And if we're all getting fat on a low calorie diet, something's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's either not a low calorie diet, or maybe we're supposed to be fat. Maybe skinny is actually deadly. It is actually. So for the last 3.5 million years, I guess, if you were skinny in a famine, you were dead. And fat and fertile is the only way to be, because nausea, vomiting, lack of food for the first trimester. Remember, you only use fat for your nutrition for your child. That's it. There's a great study on bears hibernating. Guess what? They didn't eat, drink. They lost fat only. They didn't lose any muscle mass, and they didn't lose any bone marrow or bone density. Oh my God! And they grew a cub in their womb. So we just have it wrong. We're telling a story that's just marketing to sell a diet. Diets are dead. Fat is where it's at. Stop labeling yourself fat. Doctors, nurses, practitioners, stop labeling people with any disease. You're their coach and cheerleader. You're supposed to be helping them be healthy, not making them feel like shit. And when you feel like shit, what do you want to do? Eat food. Listen, we never had access to as much food. Stop buying and filling your basket. Like, I have my freezer has steak in it. I have some eggs, butter, little cream, bacon, maybe. I'm boring as heck. We are not supposed to have variety. Spices and variety are deadly. And that's the only thing that matters. If you want to lose weight, don't eat. Okay, not eating is hard. I agree, because I love food. But when I got rid of the lettuce, listen, I care about me more than anything in the world. Do I really want to have bowel bleeding, arthritis, migraines, kidney stones? Back aches are gone. No more back aches. They're gone. And ultimately, it's all because we're inflaming the bowels. When you break down the glycobiome, you expose the cells to all the toxins, including the probiotics, which are deadly for humanity. The microbiome is another fictitious story, just like high cholesterol and lipids. Do you guys know what a lipid really is? I know what fat is. That's simple, right? We're fativores. We are meant to live on fat. And if you're not fat, again, in a famine, you're dead. Look at polar bears. They work their darndest to get fat. If they're too skinny, they cannot conceive. If they're not fat enough, they have only one pup, 2, 3 cubs. I don't know what they are. But these ideas are radical. You want a modern health and wellness coach. Today, Carnivore Revolution is sharing coaching, cheerleading. We're not waiting for the prospective randomized studies and the peer-reviewed journals to give us the answer. They're arguing about it. They've lost their minds in our ability to step back and go, maybe this carnivore thing is something. Maybe I should be open-minded. Maybe vegetables do contain poisons, and maybe fiber is just fermenting in my colon, causing colon cancer. One of my 41-year young friends just got a call. You got colon cancer. Devastated. Okay. And why? Healthy, modern diet. Now, since the pharaohs, by the way, if you haven't watched 10,000 BC, you have to. Basically, we were captured, enslaved, and made prisoners, peasants, and soldiers and slaves. And what did we feed them? We were fed grass and grains. The masters ate fatty meat. The story is the same. We're led by the masters. What we're doing here is shifting the masses and the meek to be the masters. And every single human being is their own master when they learn about why carnivore and fativore, one meal a day, and faith makes you fit and fantastic.
So I have a question with you talking about how we're meant to be fat instead of skinny, malnourished. So one of the issues my dad is having with carnivore is that he's losing a lot of weight, and he thinks that he's losing too much weight. So he wants to start adding in carbs again to gain weight back. So what would your advice be for people who are afraid of losing so much weight on carnivore, but gaining back weight in a healthy way?
They're actually meativores. A carnivore eats the fat in the meat. Let's just say meat is lean and fat is fat. Fat contains twice the calories supposedly as of carbohydrates or of the protein component of meat. We have very little need. We have very little need for proteins, and we have zero need for a carbohydrate or sugar ever. That's number one. Kiltz's ice cream. My God, is that like difficult? Is that like right?
He'll love that.
But remember, Kiltz's ice cream is mostly fat, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly fat. So if again, I can't eat fat. My doctor said I'll get high cholesterol and heart disease. Heart disease is caused by sugar, which causes glycation. Since the cells are made of cholesterol and lipids, what fixes the damage caused by sugar? Fat does. Lipids and cholesterol are critical. You will die without them. And there's many, many studies. David Diamond has some really great stuff online. He's a PhD. Again, we're all arguing about, well, what do the studies say? Stop it. Listen, you don't have 100 years for the scientists to argue. And believe me, because science is not really science, it's actually manipulated, peer-reviewed junk. I'm sorry. And I say that with no disrespect. I'm a physician. I've published and all these things, but I've learned that it's publish or perish. Hans Krebs and Otto Warburg thought that the Krebs cycle, and Otto Warburg figured out that glucose causes mitochondrial damage and causes cancer. Well, Hans Krebs figured out that glucose somehow was important. Well, there are many other glycans, and so we've been led down the dead end street, but we're putting holes in it, looking for a way out, but it's just Swiss cheese. So what should your dad and everyone else do? Listen, fat protects the glycobiome. It also is an antimicrobial when you eat fat. You ever notice the butter sits out for days and weeks in the fat but it never gets mold on it? Never. Gee. And again, it's like talk to your grandmother's grandmother, right? But our doctors and our the experts, they're marketing. And I don't think they intentionally want us to be sick. They just have such a belief there's a magic pill. We're going to find the drug that's going to fix all your problems. Like this pill, then this pill, then this pill. Isn't it amazing how like so many people are off all their drugs? Mm-hmm. They feel like, I'm 66 years young. I feel about 10. And my mind and mental capacity, my energy is amazing. Work is the best 4-letter word ever in the universe. Get creative in life. Pottery, painting, music, dancing, go to your local dance hall, go to the church, connect with people online. I got so many new friends. Do a meetup. And if you're a vegan, vegetarian, do those things too, because you got to start where you're at. My best friend, Dave Kilmer, he died at 52-ish of lymphoma. Sarah Hallberg of Vita Health with Peter Attia died of lung cancer, 10 years, doesn't know why. It's a plant-based, low animal fat diet and eating like 3 to 6 grazing meals a day. And we're looking for the scientific answer. Well, maybe your LDL, HDL, and VLDL, and I don't know. If it's complicated, it means it's likely snake oil science. Sorry.
So I have kind of the opposite question that Jess had about her dad feeling like he's losing too much weight. What do you say to, I have talked to, several women, lots of women I hear saying they just feel full so soon eating the carnivore diet. They don't have enough room for all the food. And some women are eating 800, 1,000 calories a day, and they're not losing weight, and they're frustrated, and they have a hard time getting in enough calories.
Forget calories. No one knows what the hell they are. What I'm trying to say is you're telling me they're trying to get in enough calories, but they're already full. Oh, I got to get my calories in. Like, who made that one up?
Well, I think the idea that I'm hearing from women, and Kelly Hogan and I just talked about this the other day, because she is hearing from women over and over again, just like I have, where they're not losing weight. And then when she says to them, how much are you eating? And even if they just like not in a calorie range, if they just say, I'm eating half a pound of meat a day or 3/4 of a pound of meat a day. And Kelly will say, well, that's not enough. Your body is in crisis mode, maybe.
All nutritional science is bunk. Duh, it's dud. I mean, what animal in the universe says, can you help me out with my number of calories I'm supposed to eat, and like what are my nutrients, and macros and micros, and how much protein? Like, oh, I gotta eat a lot more. It's just, I'm sorry, we like the story because we all got our stories. But I got some extra poundage. I'd love to look more like Sean Baker or Anthony Chafee and stuff like this. And if you want to be skinnier, if you want to have less poundage, so stop measuring yourself. First of all, get rid of the scale. It's not required. This measuring, or you're fat, you're skinny, you're this size, you're that size, it's a label that isn't natural. That's number one. Number two is no one knows what a calorie is. You got to eat more. I don't know that I trust that, but people are on a budget. Eat more food. I mean, if you're full, stop eating. When you do a really radical bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream and salt, oh my God, you feel amazing. And start there. This idea that anyone should lose weight, it's the diet industry. And then you're neurotic. Oh my God, did you see how many steps have you done today? Oh my God. Oh, that looks great on you. Oh my God, you see what she's wearing? My God, she shouldn't be in that. Judge not lest ye be judged. We all know it. Why don't we live it? Again, hey, you look amazing today. How you doing? I'm fantastic. Oh, that's what we should be doing everywhere. And so look in the mirror. That's the first place you should do it. If you want to lose some weight, don't eat. Get on the treadmill, go for a walk, do some weights. Join Zach Bitter, or join Keto Savage or his wife. There's so many people teaching us how to do this because it's fun when you do it together. But I don't measure calories. I don't measure proteins. I don't know what a gram is. Do you know what a gram is?
Only when my scale shows it to me when I weigh my food sometimes.
Listen, my sister Marianne at age 4 diagnosed with diabetes type 1. My mother would weigh everything out and this and that. American Diabetic Association. Eat vegetables much as you want, a little bit of fruit, occasional piece of cake, cover it with insulin. If you got a peanut allergy, here's an EpiPen. Have fun. Eat plants. But again, whether you're carnivore or not, you got to love yourself first. And if you want to look like Kelly, Kelly, we're all unique and individuals. But, no matter what you do, you know what the universe wants you to be?
Happy.
Yes. And if you're not fat for the famine to coming, you're dead. Listen, this just a construct of trying to be skinny, which is completely against what your body wants you to do. Do you know this?
So the whole argument that people always say is fat doesn't make you fat, but it kind of sounds like you're saying fat is going to keep a healthy amount of fat on your body, but not make you obese.
Okay. Obesity is another label we should throw away.
Okay.
Being obese does not cause any diseases because you just have a bigger fuel tank to go through a longer famine. The cause of disease, it's what's in your belly. What's in your belly? What's in your belly is in your belly for your entire life. It's fermenting. It's got bacteria and yeast that love you. It's got all the plant toxins, the antigens, and it's all sugar. There's the disease. Your size does not cause any disease. Okay? That's just it. And I know it's kind of crazy, but if you really are still that size, I'm so sorry. Like, you'll never fit into it. Are you going to go to the reception, the wedding looking like that? I mean, is that what we're telling women and men, children? We're feeding our kids. Like, what's a healthy amount of fat? Does anyone really know? Nope. Not one bit. So why don't we stop labeling it? Imagine people are already amazing and healthy. And then voila, they feel it. And when you eat like a lion, you ever seen a fat lion?
No.
Nope. How about a tiger?
Nope.
Cheetah? Jaguar? None, right? Okay, so can you get fat on carnivore? Sure you can.
Mm-hmm.
If you're, you can eat too much protein, too much fat. What happens to protein when you eat it? Breaks down amino acids, goes to the liver via insulin, it's converted to sugar and then fat. Okay? So, look at, I'm not here to help anyone lose weight, because the loss of weight in a famine, and what are the odds in the last 3.5 million years you've lived through famines? The genetics, the people who get fat are told that they have something wrong with the genetics. We're looking for something's wrong with your hormones. BS. You have actually the survival genetical mechanisms that you're meant to be. But since we were never meant to eat flour, pasta, bread, nor were we meant to eat fake flours, fake sugars, fake fruits, fake pasta, fake anything. It's deadly for us. And I know I hope I don't sound too crass and I don't insult anyone in this. And my honor is to everyone in this journey on all sides. But my sister died, my best friend died, my good friend just got cancer. I have a list on the wall. Go just look around everyone's families. Just they died, no one knew why. Diabetes, hypertension, cancer. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It must run in your family. Name a disease that doesn't run in all human families. They all do. The cause is not a mutation. The cause is the 5 things I've already laid out. Sugar damages your DNA. It causes a mutation. But the mutation is not the cause of your disease. The excessive glycation and the poisons, the heroin, cocaine, and marijuana built in the plants, and the lectins, oxalates, phytates are like the dust and the dirt that clogs up and causes inflammation everywhere. And then you insist on going for a 5-mile run every other day and pumping the iron and counting your steps. The more data we've developed, the more dumb we get, I think. I'm just a regular human being. I'm not so smart. Colloquial. My friends use the word colloquial, and I'm like, what does that word mean? Most people don't know what that word means. Okay, simple, great. Are most people understand most of the words we in science and Harvard and all the institutions share in our prospective studies? No way. I didn't. I don't. I read through a journal. I'm like, we're all arguing of it. We can't make sense of it. I just want simple. If you're a lion, eat like a lion. Do lions eat all day long like a grazing animal?
No.
Nope. Once a day or less. Or less. Fasting is lasting. But if you have in your kitchen fruits and seeds and nuts and all the snacks, you're effed. It's deadly. Don't do it. Let's go out to the garden for the last 3 million years and find seeds and nuts. What are the odds that the seed and nut eaters became the meat for the apex human predators? Listen, we were not gatherers, we were hunters. And hunters hunted. The apex hunters became the masters. The grass and grain eaters became the meek and the masses. Now, again, I'm using it very just as a story. Listen, you got to have fun with this, but look in the mirror and know that you're the lioness and the lion. And I always say the gods are within all of us. How do you want to care for your miracle machine? And who's in charge? You are.
Do you think that everyone has the ability to be an intuitive eater? Because there's a lot of talk in this community and stuff where some people can't because they have past history with addiction, or they need to track because it's a tool that'll help, like with all like the mental aspect of everything. But so you believe that everyone at the base of it could be an intuitive eater or should be an intuitive eater?
We're brainwashed.
Okay.
We're lions that have been led into the sheep pen and told you're addicted. You got an eating problem. Oh, I'm sorry. You can never do this. I've got an app for you. I've got a list for you. Now, I'm not against all these things. Each and every human being has to pick for themselves, but check, see if you have a pulse. Look in the mirror. Do you look like a human or a pig, cow, or a sheep? Again, I'd say you're a beautiful human. You got a pulse. You can do or be anything. You have the DNA of the masters. So for anyone to tell you, but you're listening to them, stop listening to them. Look in the mirror. I'm my master. I'm my leader. I am healthy, well, wise. I am smart. I'm a lion. I'm a lioness. I eat like that. And I know that the proper human diet, Ken Berry, he poked that one at us. Lies, my doctor told me. Just look at his book. But again, everyone is capable. Oh my God, doctors are the negative Nellies of the universe. They're not very smart. I don't think they could do this. Oh my God, they got these diseases, their DNA and their family history, they're doomed. I mean, again, look in the mirror. Are you capable? This is why I created Kiltz's Mighty Tribe. It's coming out this week or next week. I don't know. I'm inspired by Bella Steak and Butter Gang, by Sean Baker, by Ken Berry, and Carnivore Revolution. Listen, you can eat whatever you want. If you're feeling great, go for it. But if you're not, you want to shift and change. You want to feel like amazing. Like, again, depressed, anxious, couldn't read, kicked out of school, in a gang, father in jail. I think I've done okay. But I learned pottery in high school and jewelry, and I became an artist. I am an artist. Everyone's an artist. Do art. So we brainwash people that they're incapable unless they have that's my opinion. Oh my God, you're an alcoholic. You'll always be an alcoholic. And I'm sorry. Listen, we're brainwashed. Alcohol never existed in the natural, human environment. But that said, I support everyone in whatever their journey is with the people they're working with. But I'm just throwing out some new and different ideas that maybe we're leading people to the sheep's pen or the lion den and their sheep. So I say we're all lions. We have the DNA of an animal that came out of the trees with spears and hunting techniques to hunt the grass eaters. But maybe when there was nothing around, we'd like, oh my God, have you tried these seeds and nuts? Have you tried those mushrooms over there? Well, my brother did. He's dead. I mean, the toxins that are in plants and mushrooms and fish and seafood and all these things. And I'm sorry, the last time a cow killed someone, when you tried to kill it with your bare hands, it either trampled on you or gored you with its horn. The reason fatty beef is so best is because it was hard to kill it. And we honor the animals that we eat. And if you eat a plant, you're eating a live organism. You must eat life to be alive. I'm sorry. And you can follow the sheep to the pen, or you could join the lions and ditch the sheepskin and unfold your true DNA.
Yeah, I love the carnivore diet for so many reasons. And coming from a standpoint of food addiction and carb addiction, the one thing that we see a lot in the carnivore space is people saying that it fixed them, like it healed me. It fixed my carb addiction, my food addiction. And the other thing I noticed is that most people on the carnivore diet, if they're doing it right and they're really focusing on it and getting it done and eating clean, they are glowing. Like when I look at people in the carnivore space that are really doing it, they're always glowing. You're glowing. Both of you are glowing. It's this different.
It's the light. No,
so get out, do a walk. Dr. Mercola always talks about getting out in the sunlight. Many other people do. By the way, vitamin C and D deficiency is caused by a plant-based diet, not lack of sunlight.
Very interesting.
And again, insulin resistance is not true. Your insulin is high because your glucose is high. Duh. And other sugars, by the way, glucose, galactose, maltose, which are glycans, which are critical for glycosylation. If you read, I've been talking about this and we're writing a book on it. It's about glycobiology. Listen, do you know that all glycoproteins are three-dimensional little products floating around your skin, your circulation, embedded everywhere. No doctors, scientists I know of, except one, Fran Weber, knows what the glycobiome is. It's the most important protective layer of the universe. The plants are the glycobiome of the earth. If you destroy the plants, you destroy the soil. They're the protective layer. They're communicating with the globe. They're making oxygen. They're sharing electromolecular energy. They make pheromones and chemicals that are critical to all of our survival. Well, we're damaging it. We decided that planting corn and wheat was more important. Okay? And so when we started eating plants, that's when the deadly damage began. And now we're constantly upheaval to the soil, the plants, and decided we want to plant what we want. And then we're calling plants invasive. Who's the invasive species of the world?
People.
We are. And so the glycobiome is, so the sugars are the keratins. The lobster's got a sugar shell. Sugar is a protective layer for our body. It's not the energy for the mitochondria. Fat is. Done with that one. All right. Insulin resistance is resistant. Scientists and doctors were fatheads because the brain is made of what? Fat. High cholesterol is the best thing you can have. But when you eat a high protein, high plant-based, low-fat diet, you're making fat all the time in your liver. You're causing glycation to the liver cells. You cause liver dysfunction and fatty liver. You diminish the production or the turnover of protein and sugars to fat. And so you're getting hyperglycemia and hyperproteinemia, which causes more damage, which then causes, Lewy bodies and all sorts of scientific words that I don't know what the hell most of them mean. And so simple. Plants are never required. Fat is. If you don't eat fat, your body is going to make it all day long. And it's to get you ready for the famine, but it doesn't come.
So I have one more fertility related question for you. So we always hear like your clock is ticking, you can't get pregnant after like 35. So what is the age you think that women, if they're healthy and eating fat and stuff like that, that women can still be pregnant? Is the clock is ticking? Is that a myth?
Well, the true God did not make time. God and time is infinite. The globe, the world, your universe is expanding every day. That's what we're doing. We're expanding our universe. Ultimately, the Bible, 120, I don't know what the age was, but look at, you have your own clock. You're your own timer, your own data. We're like, oh my God, it'll never happen to me. Is that what you want to be saying to your brain, to your ovaries, your uterus, your sperm? No way. I am fertile. I am a mom. I'm a dad. I'm a parent. I have 5 kids. I just love. Thank you, Lord God, creator, for all the beautiful love you've given to me and spreading this around to build my family. So, advanced maternal age, who made that one up? All the diseases go up. Why? Because we're exposed to the damage for more years. The more time, okay, I used the word time. Sorry about that. The more you're exposed to the damage of plants, the more you're screwed. Look at, if you have a brand new Ferrari, a 5-year Ferrari, a 50-year Ferrari, or a 100-year Ferrari, like naturally it's going to wear out. We're going to die, by the way. Done. But our energy is eternal. Faith in God is critical. I would say, when's the time to have a baby? Well, gee, we had babies at 12, 13, 14, 15 for the last 3.5 million years. Like, oh, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, or something really spectacular in the universe. Now I'm 40. Oh my God, I want a baby. Why did I wait? Because we're telling people it's okay to wait.
Right.
When's the best time to have a baby? Now. That's it. Listen, the cause of all disease, including intrauterine diseases, including diabetes of pregnancy, hypertension, PIH, even maternal death, is due to a plant-based low animal fat diet. Sorry.
Okay.
So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and show us your book again so everybody can run out and get one.
I'm trying to hide out in this universe. So if they don't find me, it's probably good. But go to drkiltz.com, go to Amazon, look at Kiltz's Keto. The new one is Kiltz's Keto Carnivore Guide. But YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, StreamYard, Zoom, but the Kiltz's Mighty Tribe. I'm doing a 5 a.m. Eastern time. Robin Sharma wrote a book called The 5 a.m. Club. Own your morning, own your day, own your life. Listen, we need more inspiration in life. And if you want to count, you want to log, go ahead, do it. Make yourself happy. I'm all for whatever you want to do. That's the practice of my medicine. But I'm glad to always do lives with people, do deads with people, Grateful Dead. Play music, by the way. You got to do it yourself. But I think this is the most amazing thing that's ever happened in medicine. Social medicine is social media. The real control of health and wellness is not waiting for, well, what about the scientific studies that the cholesterol causes heart disease and you need a statin and diabetes is your DNA.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's really amazing when you put it like in those terms and look at it like that. It really is. It's really amazing what you're doing and what the carnivore community is doing.
This is the most amazing community I've ever been in. I love science. I love medicine. I'm a mathematician. I mean, I started off with math and science. The formulas, the more I look at these formulas, I said, wait a minute, something doesn't make sense. If keto, you go from sugar to fat, what part of the body ever shifts from one thing for another? Listen, I'm breathing air and land. I'm going to go underwater and breathe water. Can you do that? No, it's just not true. Mm-hmm. I will tell you that obesity causes no disease. Stop trying to be skinny. Start learning the way of having faith in God. Read The Secret, The Fertile Secret, Think and Grow Rich, The Power of Positive Thinking. Listen to the Carnivore Revolution, because that's where you're going to get inspiration. And we need coaches and cheerleaders. So
we really do. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Kiltz. And everybody, join us next time on the Carnivore Revolution. We have 2 other special guests that are coming on with us later this week that we're super excited about. And we hope that you will join us again, Dr. Kiltz, and spend more time with us.
All day long, and meet up, and eat meat. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much.